of the weekend, Maxi's Archies had that 8th spot, but after the corrected pairings, took 9th.
Yeah, had a bit of a jiggery-pokery, some match results reported incorrectly, and once corrected, we do have Joe not bubbling, something he wanted to avoid. Is jiggery-pokery tickling you there, Jeremy?
Yes. All right, so going on the top 8, we could talk about the bracket later, but right now we have Kian Amini versus Eli Ottaviano.
It's a good little accent you got there, Jeremy. The big thing to take away from this, you can't see it just yet, but the word on the street is that Eli is playing something a little bit non-traditional in the way we've seen this tournament shake out.
Yeah, a blast from the past with Seismitoad, EX, and Garbodor.
Yeah, I mean, Seismitoad, we've seen it literally once filling up a bench space.
Yeah.
And back in the day, that was one of the most prominent Pokemon around. To see it kind of immediately fall from grace and not be up there anymore is almost a little bit shocking. But to pair it with the Garbodor, it really is just going to be a nasty lock if that gets set up. And
Kian is going first. Starts at Tapu Lele, but has the Bridget in hand anyway. Gets those 3 Zorua. And talking with him before this match, he was very discouraged. He's like, I don't know how to win. I don't play a Ranger in my deck. That's kind of the one way, the Pokemon Ranger, to get out of the Quaking Punch lock.
Yeah, you're literally there, like, drawing for turn. You can't trade if you've been Garbotoxined. You can't play any items to help you get more. You can't VS Seeker for any of those supporters. So you're literally able to just draw and hope that the supporters give you enough to manually put down energy. It becomes kind of a slow one until if you hit the Field Blower, though, you are then able to all of a sudden go off trade, get all the cards, and try and do everything in a turn. It's pretty wild. We do see.
But you can't really hit Field Blower if you're under Quaking Punch lock.
Yeah, I mean, you need to find. Oh lord, you need to find some kind of opening here. We could see one of those lovely games where basically it's just a case of draw passing, and trying to get that in. Maybe just setting something up in the active spot, getting it nice and charged up, and then pulling a Guzma to knock out one of these Garbotoxins, and then find a little bit of respite from that. But if he sets up 2, then you've got to find 2 Guzma.
And then you also have to play through the multiple energy disruption that Eli has, Enhanced Hammers, and then, of course, a card that we haven't really seen is Hypnotoxic Laser.
No, Hypnotoxic Laser is... it's been around a long time, coming out in the Plasma era.
Yeah.
And then it was so good. I mean, Plasma Verbang, just stack up that damage. But it's kind of dropped off. Still playable. I know the last time I actually saw one of these decks was a couple of sets ago when we were back in the Florida Regionals with the Survipers.
Yes.
That was a fetid deck to play against.
Manly, I think.
That was the one, yeah. I remember that. And it was like Verbank, Surviper, Quaking or Hypnotoxic Laser Quaking Punch, and you will take about 80 per turn or something ridiculous. I think this one's going to be a little more of a slow burner. We did see the Ultra Ball there to start the turn from Eli, and he just grabs himself the Seismitoad.
Yeah, and of course, Laser affecting the game so much just because if you get heads on it, put your opponent's Pokemon to sleep, and you could just lose a game by flipping tails.
Yeah, I mean, really easy to see that one kind of happen. If you're not able to play out of it, you're definitely gonna struggle a little bit.
Yeah, unfortunately. However, a great start from Eli. He did have to Sycamore away that Computer Search, a great utility card where he really needs a double colorless right now as well.
Yeah, he's giving up a lot of resources to get everything into play right now. Like, a lot of resources.
But that turn 1 Quaking Punch is so important.
Yeah, because otherwise it may be a single turn, but at least you can play items.
Yeah.
But then, of course, I think maybe turn 2, yeah, he's got a good chance to do something here. Turn 3, it's still, that's when you're starting to look at Garbotoxin locks. That's when you're starting to look at, the Quaking Punch is starting to add up.
So I see a Floatstone in his hand, comes down on the Shaman. He does have the double colorless. Oh, man. All right.
This gets really nasty really quickly for Kian. Take him 50 there.
Flips tails on the sleep as well.
Ooh, it's not going to be able to wake that one up. He will be able to get his Zoroarks out, and he will actually be able to use Propagate and trade in this one. But, you know, we've already seen the Trubbish hit the bench.
Another Zoroark. All right.
Here we go. Can he get the third? The trifecta of Zoroark? No.
No.
But yeah, just simply no. Either that or he's just waiting to play it.
So one card that would be great for Kian right now is a Guzma, but mostly his list only really play one now, and you kind of just rely on going through your deck with these item cards to try and get it. But
they play one with those pseudo Guzma with VS Seeker.
VS Seekers, Battle Compressor, even put it in the discard, computer search for it.
Well, you won't be able to use any of the above because you've been Quaking Punched.
And with that Fighting Fury build, it actually puts Seismitoad 10 damage away from ever being one-hit knocked out by a Zoroark GX. But there's the Guzma!
Oh, he actually has it early doors, so he will be able to get rid of this Trubbish. The big thing here, you know, this Zoroark is in the active, is just going to be able to deal damage.
Yeah.
Consistent damage. Ooh. I said that as he gets enhanced hammers, that consistent damage has gone away for the time being, at least.
Well, so I think the way this matchup actually plays out is Seismitoad's very good, but you're still not doing a consistent amount of big damage.
Right. I mean,
you're cheap shotting here and there, but with the ability lock and the trainer lock, it kind of pushes forward to where it's almost insurmountable for your opponent.
Yeah,
but
it's really difficult to get back
taking out
from
that
this.
Trubbish kind of unlocks one avenue of play for Kian. Like, okay, well, I still have my abilities. I can trade away these items that I can't use.
Yeah.
And start finding these double colorless and just try to put pressure on the Seismitoad.
Yeah, that's going to be one way to do it. We do see the retreat. Another Hypnotoxic Laser.
And another heads.
Ooh, going to sleep. Getting that marker down.
And here we go. This is a big flip heads. Okay.
Yep, he's up. He's awake. He just needs to get to a double colorless. And
He just wanted a quick nap.
Yeah, he can still trade, which is so big. The Propagate trades are going to be essential now. We see him lift it up and put it down.
And
there's the next
third
Zoroark. And that means these early trades are so important for him. He is going to obviously take some poison damage if he goes between the turns here, but...
Does he find another double colorless?
Oh.
Tapu Lele, Wonder Tag.
He's got to do it now. He's got to make sure his hand has a support run to help him out of a sticky situation. X-Maniac? Yeah, that's something he wants.
Yeah.
But he may just have to hold on to it. That's the big thing here. He wants to keep it in case this lock does come through. The thing is, from this perspective...
A Shaman for nothing, because his hand is too big. Hex Maniac, he does have the double colorless. Right. So Riotous Beating is doing 120 damage to that Seismitoad. Meaning next turn, it will be knocked out unless Eli does something. He drew another Enhanced Hammer.
Yeah, this is exactly what he wants.
Enhanced Hammer, maybe an Acerola would be great here, but no. N from Eli.
There was poison between the turns, correct?
Yeah.
So that was...
So there should be 60 damage on that Zoroark.
Yep, it's just the one, no Verbank in play right now. The big thing here, though, for Eli, as we kind of shuffle up and investigate this one is hey, where are your Trubbishes?
Yeah.
And with those falling a little short, it's certainly something that he's missing half of the lock. And that's like, imagine if somebody sold you a padlock, but they only sold you the loop. You were like, this is annoying. It goes through the rings, so they don't pull apart that easily, but I can still do it.
And here is a Seismitoad coming down on the bench with a Water Energy and another Fighting Fury belt. So he will be able to try to continue this Quaking Punch lock that he has. But if Kian finds another double colorless, he'll be able to take a knockout here.
Yep,
but remember, 2 double colorless down. No access to Puzzle Time or Special Charge as long as Quaking Punch is being used.
Yep, he can. I mean, he's just going to go for it. He's going to trade 3 times. Discarding the items, just absolutely going for it. There they are. He's just got to find those double colorless over and over again.
Does he have it?
Doesn't look like it. He seems to be kind of mulling it over.
And this is where a deck like Seismitoad Garb really preys on these Zoroark decks because, yeah, I only play 4 double colorless. All my ways to get them back are items.
I mean, this isn't the only deck that's come out that really preys on double colorless.
Yeah.
The Binacle deck, Alex Hill, our number 1 seed, stops you from using them. And basically every deck at this tournament that is here is running 4 DCE.
Yeah.
So just taking an approach that says you're not allowed to play those is going to win you games. The pass coming through, so no available double colors energy here from Kian's side.
I think it's because he chorused for 7 or 6, 7. Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, he's just drawing up. The big thing here, though, he's going to have another chance because there's not going to be the potential Garbotoxin lock between these turns. So this Tapu Lele from Eli needs to find something, I think, to get Trebushes into play.
Yeah.
That's going to be huge. I mean, I don't know what Eli's exact Garbodor count is, if he even bothers with Trash Lunch at this juncture.
He definitely doesn't play Trash Lanch.
You know.
Water Energy's in there just so you can actually Grenade Hammer later on in the game to close out some stuff.
Right. I mean, I didn't. There was no. If it was a rainbow, it would have been a different story.
Yeah, yeah.
But you know, aside from that, you just think, well, you're gonna be able to work around it here.
And there is the Colress off the Wonder Tag, drawing 8 cards for Eli.
I'd say Eli's plussed on this one, as my running commentary on use of Colress does, because he's got a small bench, but his opponent's got a big one. He's taken advantage of that.
Yeah.
So decent.
Definitely looking for a Trubbish to put down so he can get the Garbotoxin effect rolling.
Yeah, I mean, if he can grab all the pieces for Garbotoxin, he'll be absolutely sailing. Maybe another Enhanced Hammer to hold in hand. You see him counting them out. 3, 3, 2. That makes 8.
Does he have
I don't see a
Trubbish?
Trubbish. I don't see the little flash of purple in there, which is kind of not going to be what he's looking for.
He does have the Trubbish. There we go.
Snuck it in.
Nest Ball, most likely getting another Trubbish. That way you
Right.
kind of guarantee you'll have it next turn.
Yeah, just in case.
If it's in the deck.
Yeah, I mean, we've seen one discarded, getting knocked out early doors.
Yeah,
We
it looks
don't
like a
see
fail on the Nest Ball. But he also has another double colorless he can attach to the bench Seismitoad as well if he chooses.
Yep.
And again, this lock is just continuing. You see Kian have essentially what looks like 15 to 20 cards in his hand,
Right.
but most of them are unplayable.
Just prepping up that damage counter. I think he knows what's coming.
Yeah.
Quaking Punch for 40 with the help of the Fighting Fury Belt, plus the 1 tick from the Poison. There is the double colorless on the next Seismitoad, so it's ready to go. And it's going to do that. I mean, realistically, he can take 1 more this turn, but then after that, that's the Zoroark gone. He's going to start taking prizes.
Yeah, it's be interesting because if he does get the double colorless off these trades this turn, if he attaches it to the active, it will get knocked out next turn.
Yep.
So
It's going to Skyfield.
you essentially just lose another one without him having to even use Enhanced Hammer.
Right. Either that or he just needs to find a Floatstone to
Yeah,
switch him around and start that process again.
even though he can't play Floatstone.
Yeah, that's true. Maybe the Guzma. Let's go with Guzma next time.
All right, but he chorused, so
I mean, he
just
can't.
looking for the double colorless right now.
Yeah, he's still fishing for it, and you have to wonder, with 2 gone, does he have anything available to him to basically be able to get out of there? If 2 of them are prized, that's it. I don't think 2 of them are prized, based on the fact he's still going for it.
Yeah, when you draw, what, 10 cards, 11 cards now, and then 3 trades available to you?
Yeah, 11 available, and you know, still missing
Wow.
it. He's going to take that tick back up to 180. So Quaking Punch will get it of its own right here.
Kian's attacked twice this game, and that's it. And there's an N coming down.
Ooh.
Kian keeps just drawing into these items, not wanting them in his
What
deck.
he really wants to do now, though, is just hit that Garbodor, or a way to get the Garbotoxin Garbodor in.
Yeah.
As soon as he does that, problem solved. There'll be no more trades. Then he's forcing Kian to just naturally draw for turn each time. But, you know, potentially he can draw the supporter.
Yeah.
And play that, something like a Sycamore. But then if he plays a supporter to draw into the double colorless, then he's never going to be in a position to play another supporter to switch things around. And that's going to be a bit of a problem for him.
And I think Eli may have drawn Ultra Ball, or just the Garbodor.
Just the Garbodor. Garbotoxin's in play, and he takes the first knockout of the game.
Well, for him.
Yeah.
Kian got that sneaky Trubbish, and yeah, look,
Giving
There
it
is
up.
a concession. Kian unable to do anything there.
That's it. Once the lock went up, he knew.
Yeah.
And I mean, he may have known his counts for something like the double colorless, because he looked pretty. I think after the Colress for 11, you don't hit it. You hit all your trades. You still don't hit it. You've got to start thinking, oh, maybe I counted those wrong.
Yeah.
Or maybe I just didn't remember to check that.
And who would have thought that this tournament would be the one that, yeah, Seismitoad's back, guys.
Yeah, I mean, I remember talking about it with a couple of the players out there, some of those in the top 8, top 16, and they said it's actually really nasty to play against. As long as everything comes down in order for the Seismitoad Garbodor player, and they get the early lock. I mean, we didn't even see the lock that early, but to make up for that, he was hitting enhanced hammers instead. He was hitting the things that he needed to just keep that. He only got attacked once.
Yeah.
By
well,
one Riotous beating.
Yeah.
That was it, and then the knockout on Trubbish, obviously, but that was all the damage on his board entirely.
like, there was a point where Kian essentially had one turn to hit a double colorless to take the knockout on Seismitoad when there wasn't a charged one up on Eli's side of the field.
Yeah.
Missed that, and then the ball just started rolling for Eli, and he got everything he needed.
Yeah, once that lock came in, you can easily see why he decided to concede and move on to game 2, where maybe, particularly with going first, he maybe had to kind of flood the board and
Yeah.
get a little more out of
Yeah.
it. You know, he's going to have at least
But I think
turn
he
2.
went first that game, too.
Yeah, I mean, he can at least try it again, though, get to his second turn, where he knows there won't be the Toxin lock in play. And then, you know, he can at least try to use some trades to fill his hand with goodies.
Yeah.
But at the same time, if he gets Quaking Punch turn 1 again, that's such a problem.
All right, and I think we should start talking a little bit about our top 8 we have here as they're setting up. So you mentioned Alex Hill is actually first seed.
Yeah, he was saying basically he's back. It's been a while since he's been at these top tables, but St. Louis, top cut, made it to top 8. Top 4, I believe.
Top
actually.
4, I believe, yeah.
And, you know, I think he's very excited to be in the top 8 and ready to prove himself and keep going that step further. Overall, it actually puts him back in the run for the top 16 kind of spots for stipends and such. So a chase that he was somewhat out of, he's now back in. We don't know how those games are going yet, but we will, if we hear anything, make sure to pass those updates on.
Yeah, and like looking at the rest of the top 8, it goes Alex, and then Kian, who we're watching now, Azul, Ultimated, and Igor. So both the Drampa Garbodor decks made it in the top 8 yet again, proving that this deck's pretty good and expanded, and Garbodor is pretty good and expanded overall, with Eli as well.
Yeah, I mean, Garbodor is just such a bother. I don't think there's ever been a time with one of the Garbotoxin varieties legal that it's not been an alarmingly playable card.
Yeah.
It's definitely been an option
And then
for a lot of decks.
we have Caleb, Finnegan Lynch, Eli, of course, and then Joe rounding out the top 8. So it's a good mix of decks. Glaceon got a couple like straight Zoroark variants, and then we got a couple Zoroark Lycanrocks. And then the 2 Drampa Garb, and of course, Toad Garbodor.
Yeah, the one everyone was expecting.
Yeah.
Southern Toad Garbodor. No, I would actually, I mean, we gave kind of Alex and Joe a little rest. We wanted to talk about Seismitoad because it was the shock deck in here. But Alex has always been very, very confident about being matched up against those Zoroark decks. And you look at Joe's and think, well, yeah, he's been playing one of those lists that's been up for discussion, especially giving up the Execute engine. And maybe, you know, that could be, the winner of that one could put themselves in a really, really good position.
Yeah, definitely poised going forward to try to take this tournament. But honestly, with the way Eli's deck looked first game, I think he has to be one of the favorites.
Right, I mean, you think about the lock that he has and how that stacks up against the rest of the tournament. Well, the Zoroark's in there, it does really well against. The other decks, you've got a couple of Garbodors, which, hey, somebody puts Garbotoxin in play. I don't care. So one of them, you know, would do that, and then he can just Seismitoad and stop the items getting into play.
I think the one matchup he would have trouble with is the Glaceon, because with the 4 Russies, it kind of just like, all right, I'll heal my guy, you heal your guy, I'll heal my guy, you heal your guy.
Yeah, that becomes a bit of a tickling contest. At that point, it's really not what you want to be playing against. And of course, if you do get that one Glaceon powered up, then you're getting hit for 90 and 30, 90 and 30, and then there comes a point where all of a sudden the bench has taken too much damage, your active's gone, and you're just losing Pokemon very quickly.
Yeah, but here we go. Of course, Kian started with a Bridget and a pass. Meanwhile, Eli's done quite a few things on his turn. 2 Trubbish in play, fighting Fury Belt on the Seismitoad, and an N looking for that Floatstone double colorless to start this Quaking Punch.
Yep, get that lock in. Turn 1, or I guess it's the second turn of the game, but his first turn is how he wants to get going. He's only going to be able to pull N for 6, but that's still, 6 brand new cards. He's not given up any resources to do them. I think this is definitely the time to look for it. If he hits Floatstone and double colorless energy off this, I'd probably be feeling pretty good about your situation if you're Eli.
Also, the fact that Kian started Oricorio, not a very popular card in this matchup.
Not at all.
And I'm
really
looking at
help.
a hand of 6 items, I believe, from Kian.
Yep, it does look like there's a couple of Pokemon in there for Eli.
Oh, I see a Floatstone.
Yeah, I see the Floatstone.
But no double colorless?
No, looks like he's fallen a little bit short of it there. Looks like he's got a Tapu Lele in hand, though, for next turn, potentially. We do see him play another one down. He's just going to pass the turn.
I'm all right with that play. Like, you don't have it. You don't want to put your Seismitoads at risk.
Right. Yeah, this is going to be a turn though where Kian can play as many of his items as he can, just because he knows that next turn Quaking Punch is probably coming. Just wants to make sure he hits all the things that he needs.
Yeah, Battle Compressor discarding both of the executes, enabling Kian's hand with Ultra Ball. He also discarded that Colress, looking to probably Versus Seeker it up.
He also
if not using it next turn for this turn for next turn as well.
Yep, he does manage to discard the Fighting Fury Belt as well.
The Field Blower, yeah.
He has to play that now. The problem is, these lists, these Zoroark lists in particular, are really light on the Field Blower.
Yeah, it's essentially just the one.
Yeah, and I mean, likelihood is he's not going to be able to play it later in the game. But, at that point you literally say when Garbotoxin's up, Garbotoxin's up. In case you were able to find that opening. Just in case Eli kind of bricks, I guess, and he loses his Seismitoad without one ready to go. Just in case that happens, then yes, you have that opening to play it.
Well, also getting rid of the Fighting Fury Belt means Zora can actually take a one-hit knockout on Seismitoad later on in the game if Eli doesn't find a replacement.
Yeah, and you got to imagine he's playing a heavy line of these Fighting Fury Belts.
I would suspect at least 3.
Yeah, just to make sure that the Seismitoads always have one, and then he's got the Floatstones for the Garbodors.
Right. Looking at Kian's hand, he still has a lot of action to do. Double puzzle.
You're not going to be able to play it later in the game, Kian, so now's the time, my friend.
Got back Ultra Ball and I think Battle Compressor?
Yeah, looks like that was what he was taking. He's going to go for it again. The Ultra Ball with the eggs, being able to fill his bench a little bit more, or even grab one of the Zoroarks to just make sure he can keep on trading this turn.
It looks like maybe another Ultra Ball or Computer Switch in his hand as well. Really looking just to try to get set up, and what you want to see is just like, all right, I got all my double colorless in my hand. That's all I need.
Yeah, that's all he wants to play with. But I mean, this is the turn where Kian has to put himself in basically put himself out of sight, put himself in an uncatchable position, so that I don't want to say when the lock comes up, he's going to be able to just accelerate through it.
And I believe Kian still hasn't played a supporter as well this turn, using the setup from Shaman to actually draw, and still has access to trade, I believe. So he could be looking for a nice Guzma play with a full bench with Skyfield to try to take out a knockout from Seismitoad.
Yeah, I mean, we do see the Sudowoodo, so that's going to be the last on his regular size bench. Not anymore, it's a big boy bench now.
It's a big boy bench now.
It is. It's time for important board management and clarity. Choice bands on the Zoroarks makes this really, really easy to reach.
Yeah.
The numbers that you need are definitely reachable, to say the least.
But does he have the Guzma and the double colorless?
Well, he's got to get them. Got to get them both.
All right, there's the Versus Seeker for the Colress. So really just conceding the fact that I'm not going to be able to get the Guzma, but I need to draw a bunch of these cards, and if I can hit multiple DCE, then that's what I want.
Yeah, his deck's so thin now as well, and he's got such a big bench. Obviously, plus the 3 of Eli. He's pretty much going to be sat there with his whole deck in his hands. Again, that's deck with an E.
But all this could be for naught if Eli just goes, alright, enhanced hammer, attach, double colorless, fighting fury belt, garb, floatstone, like, what do you do?
Not much at that point. I mean, Eli has a field blower as well, getting rid of those choice bands helps a little bit. Not the card everyone has. We'll say that another Ultra Ball from Kian, probably looking for that final Zoroark.
Still had one egg in the discard to use propagation.
Yep. Still
and that's a shaman.
Ooh. I think he's just getting it just in case there is a knockout, and he's able to play off that.
And
looks like a red card.
Yeah. Red card pretty good here. Eli's hand was pretty playable. There's Floatstone. There was the Tapu Lele for a one.
Go all in. You've got to play your items sometime.
Oh, yeah.
Now's the time. That's 4-5 tools there. It just promotes the Zoroark, so maybe doing what he did last time, trying to take out a Trubbish.
Alright, let's see how this red card affected Eli. 5 cards now in hand. There's the laser.
Yeah. It's going to be
heads.
Oh, nope, it's a tails. Okay. It's a 5. He's going to miss out there. He's got the
Fury Belt.
Oh, and the Sycamore.
And the Sycamore, wow.
If he can hit the Enhanced Hammer now, this would be real trouble, I think, for Kian.
He has the computer search in hand.
Oh, and the Burbank! Yeah, that's nice.
That's one card we actually didn't see in Game 1, and he still won because of that.
Yeah, he really didn't need it, but the Burbank City there, limiting back down Kian's bench, making it, again, back to the 2-hit knockouts on the Seismitoad.
Yeah.
Which is big, especially because he got the Fury Belt back. He does computer search, so, you know, all he needs is, if he's got one of the pieces to set up the Garbodor lock now, then he can go for it.
Well, he actually discarded the Floatstone with the computer search.
Well, probably looking for, I'm going to guess, the Enhanced Hammer there.
Yeah.
To slow that down. That's 2 tools gone. There's the Garbodor. There's the Shaman.
Set up for 4 cards.
Oh. Did he get all the pieces of the puzzle?
Floatstone coming down.
Floatstone, so there's no more trading right now.
And then there we go, Quaking Punch, 70 damage total thanks to the laser and the Burbank City gem.
Yeah, that's a lot, and that makes this now 3 turns that he needs.
Oh, there's a Getsus, but no.
Ooh.
Oh.
When you think I mean, he was probably looking for the hammer in there.
Yeah.
But he just wasn't able to find it, so.
Well, I think if Eli had the hammer, he would have played it.
Yeah, I mean, just in case he was holding on. I mean, anything else as well to try and get there. The only downside, I mean, I guess for Eli there, the only thing that he kind of missed out on was, hey, I didn't get the hammer, and on top of that, he didn't quite get the sleep either. The sleep would have been huge off the Hypnotoxic Laser.
Well, there's the Enhanced Hammer now.
That's
right off the top.
Yep, got to be off the top because it wasn't pulled in by the Getsus. We do see that.
Correcting some laser damage.
Yep, laser damage applied. Well, the poison and the Burbank City Gym up to 100 now. The big thing here for Eli has got to be making sure he either sets up his second Seismitoad. Yeah, that's what he has to do. He has to set up the second Seismitoad, so, you know, if this one gets knocked out, then he's in great shape.
And it's going to be pretty easy to do off this Colress for 8 cards.
The other thing as well, I mean, I know he has the option to do so, but if he leaves it in, because of Burbank City Gym, it would, I believe, if my numbers are correct, would be 40,
it would be 10 short.
10 short, yeah. That's it. Yeah, do the same cycle.
70, and then it comes back to 200.
Ooh.
So unfortunate that Eli couldn't get that perfect math number. Where's the plus power when you need it?
Oh, plus power, Kukui.
Kukui. Yeah.
Would get you there. All kinds of goodies.
Yeah.
Oh. Eli. Board management, shaking my head. Looks like he's just going to go stick with what he knows best here, the Quaking Punch. He does have the next Seismitoad ready to go, so
yeah,
no real bother
with the Fury
there.
Belt as well, that's a third one.
Yeah.
Seismitoad Garb putting on a clinic here against Zoroark.
Looking through his hand, looking for a double colorless energy. He's not able to trade, so he's going to pass. He's going to take that tick. There it is, pointed out politely by Eli there.
10 left. Gets you for 20 cards. Just kidding, it's only 2.
One of them the field blower as well.
Yeah.
He actually plays an extra one. Or no, he grabbed it back, I think, with the double puzzle.
I don't even think it matters at this point.
I mean, he can't play it, but it's there.
It's there. It's a card.
The fear of it is there. Yeah, it's gonna get really nasty here for Kian. He has that bench so full and ready to go, but missing that double colorless that turn, I think, pops him behind a little bit again. There's the next Garbodor. There's the double colorless.
So Kian can take a knockout here, but again, he's really being pressured by this Garbotoxin, this Quaking Punch, and these Enhanced Hammers that will probably come down from Eli this turn.
We've only seen one Enhanced Hammer as well so far. He's going to set up another Trubbish just in case. Yep, that's 2 Garbotoxin now. There's the double colorless gone.
Then there's the end. Oh.
Yeah, I mean, he has the Seismitoad already set up. So it's really not a great time here. And looking at the board, I mean, Kian's still going to have to go through both of them.
Yeah.
With 2 Enhanced Hammers left in deck. No way to get the special energy out. It's a rough break, I think, for Kian in this one.
Oh, I think Eli actually drew too many cards off the N. Because he only has 4 prizes, but he drew 6.
Yeah, that could be interesting.
Yeah.
Because if there is a problem here,
especially when he's so far ahead on board.
Yeah, we're just taking a moment to review. Alright,
I guess no. And we're back. Quaking Punch will be coming down.
Okay, well, we're back to regularly scheduled business, Quaking Punch into Zoroark.
Like, I don't know, I'm confused. But
alas, there's no Hypnotoxic Laser now. So this is quite nice. Kian's just gonna bench Shaman and pass. He's setting up another Seismitoad. He is gonna Colress, so maybe looking for another one of those Hypnotoxic Lasers. He actually only played 1.
yeah.
And so he's gonna be able to Colress for 9, and then basically he just wants to make sure he always has Enhanced Hammer and Hypnotoxic Laser in play, or in his hand.
Yeah.
So that if anything goes awry, he can just kind of press the reset button and get those down.
Yeah, especially getting a Sleep Flip on this Zoroark GX with the Floatstone attached to it would be pretty big because it would lock in place for a little bit. And we actually see the top card of his hand is Hypnotoxic Laser.
Yep, he's mulling over. I think being able to ramp up the damage, especially with the Verbank in play, would be really nice. He does get the sleep as well.
Wow.
Just in case, Kian's been able to find a double colorless.
Using his GX marker as a poison marker because, you know, you don't even use your GX attack in this deck.
Yeah, you don't even have Dark. He is going to be staying asleep as well, so...
And then there's the Stadium and the Pass only taking 10 damage, still asleep.
Yeah, still there. Still unable to do any more.
Burbank City coming down, and Quaking Punch will be doing 70 damage again.
Yep, I mean, keeping those Verbanks. Eli just has all the answers in... Yeah,
just asleep again, and
there it is.
Game.
Yeah, we do see Kian actually deciding to just scoop this game up, basically. Knowing that he can't win any longer. He's not able to break the lock, so it looks like that's going to be Eli advancing into the top 4. Once the lock came into play, hey, you can't play the game anymore.
I think that's been kind of a theme throughout this whole tournament is if I'm not playing Zoroark, I'm going to make it so you can't play Pokemon.
Yeah, I mean, if I'm not playing Zoroark, you can't play Zoroark either, essentially.
Yeah.
You're relying on double colorless energies. I'm going to build a deck that stops you from either playing them out of your hand, makes it really hard for you to get them into play, in this case, and if you do get them into play, I'm just going to enhanced hammer them.
Yeah, and putting on a clinic there. I don't know how his matchup is going forward, but it seems pretty good. Item lock you can never really disregard in a tournament. Your opponent can just draw those hands where
you're just full of items, yeah. Yeah, I mean, full of items, then hit them with the Getsus. Which the Getsus for 2 was pretty unimpressive, but overall, you know, really tough game there.
We have our first person in the top 4. Eli poised to try to take down this Costa Mesa Regionals here with Sides with Toad Garbodor.